Is your shot at victory gigantic or only 10 inches tall? Follow me further down the rabbit hole to find out. This is a rundown and tier ranking for casual unmatched players for Alice. Let's drop some tiers. How do you do, fellow kids? It is I, the misfit of the multiverse, Dark Lord of the game board, acolyte of all things fright, the punk rock gaming guru, SlothySith, back with another teardrop. We continue our series of unmatched character tier rankings and paint reveals by looking at Alice. Please note, this is for casual gamers playing in a standard 1v1 match. I am not a tournament level player, and this is just my personal playstyle. If you're looking for videos on how to play Unmatched or advanced strategy, this isn't the video for you. However, if you're a fan of my content, please like and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Alice is based on the main character from Lewis Carroll's novel, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, adapted in 1951 as Walt Disney's Alice in Wonderland. Alice accidentally falls down the rabbit hole into Wonderland and goes on mind-bending adventures featuring a cast of unusual characters. Alice is part of the Unmatched Battle of Legends Volume 1 set by Restoration Games and Mondo. She's a melee fighter, starting health of 13, standard movement of 2, and has the Jabberwock as a sidekick. The Jabberwock also has melee attacks and starting health of 8. Alice will struggle against characters with devastating attacks, but is a fairly balanced fighter with a solid sidekick. Everything will hinge on timing your size changes correctly. I'd say she's a decent fighter for a beginner if you like to play a strategic style. If you're a more action-reaction style player, you may want to look elsewhere on the roster when starting out. When you place Alice, choose whether she starts the game big or small. When Alice is big, add 2 to the value of her attack cards. When Alice is small, add 1 to the value of her defense cards. Similar to Jekyll and Hyde, this gameplay mechanic can make or break your battle. Since your size change is dictated by the cards in your hand, you'll want to assess where your opponent is on the board, how you want to use your actions during your turn, and what you think your opponent will do next turn, and even what you may want to do next turn before you decide when to use a card that will change your size. If you know the tendencies of your opponent, for example, if they are an aggressive attacker early in games, you may want to start small for the extra defense and wait until you have a good counter attack plan before changing size. With Alice, I employ a hybrid, aggressive defensive playstyle. Try to time your size changes up to give you an advantage in combat. Use the Jabberwock to shield Alice or to whittle down your opponent. The Jabberwock is a melee fighter with a starting health of 8. With no specific character defense cards, be careful what cards you burn in protecting the Jabberwock because you will be pulling potential defenses away from your main hero. The Jabberwock has solid health for a sidekick and a pair of good character-specific attack cards. Use the Jabberwock to shield Alice from damage, whittle your opponent down, or pick your spots to be a nuisance. Always remember that ultimately your sidekicks are expendable. If the main fighter dies but a sidekick survives, you still lose the game. For Alice, I'm going with Looking Glass. It only defends at 2, but after combat you get to choose 2 of 3 effects. Draw 2 cards, recover 3 health, and place Alice in any other space. This card can be a late game lifeline when you're on the ropes, or an early game momentum swing. Try to play it after a few high attacks, so there's more of a chance you won't sustain a lot of damage since it's only a 2. For the Jabberwock, my favorite card is Jaws That Bite. This card attacks at a solid 4, but the after effect deals 2 damage to 1 adjacent fighter. Use this card after your opponent has played a feint or 2 for better odds of it landing without a cancel. Alice is a fairly balanced fighter with a decent deck and solid sidekick. Similar to Jekyll and Hyde, success hinges on timing your size changes to give you an edge in combat. Forecast your opponent's next turn and your next turn before playing a size changing card. Alice can be a solid match for most fighters in the game, but the initial learning curve keeps Alice in my B tier. Now let's get on to my paint reveal. Thank you so much for checking out this Unmatched character tier ranking and paint reveal of Alice. And remember, if you're about that nerd life, please like and subscribe so I can keep creating content. Come ride with me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/SlothySith. Peace.